Hi, and welcome back to the WI Cookery School to our baking video. I earlier on did one video for you on how to make a basic white dough, and if you didn't catch that, there's a link on the screen now and you can go and actually make the basic white dough. Once you have your dough, I'm going to show you how to make it into some white rolls, and there's nothing more delicious than freshly baked rolls to have with a homemade soup or for sandwiches. So take your dough, which is the dough we've knocked back, and you've got a lovely soft dough, really easy to work, and you're going to divide the dough into pieces, and probably this will make 9 really nice sized rolls, but if you want them much bigger you can make them bigger, if you want them smaller you can make more, so it's entirely up to you, but just divide the dough up. If you want them exactly the same size, then weigh them all. You can weigh each piece of dough. This is a 500 gram dough, so it's made with 500 grams of flour. So now we're going to learn how to shape, and shaping is key, because if we don't shape properly, they end up the wrong size and shape, but also we have holes, the texture isn't right. So take your piece of dough and just pull all the edges in to the middle and nip it really tightly, roll the ball of dough over, and then we're going to mold it. So to do that, you put your small finger on the board and your thumb on the other side, and then your 3 other fingers make a cage over the top, and then you mold, and all I'm doing is pressing down quite hard, keeping my thumb and finger on the board and rotating, and I can feel this dough coming together underneath here to make a nice ball. So once you've shaped them, we're going to place them onto a baking tray. So just to show you again how to mold, pull in the edges and make sure you pull them all in first, because it won't mold without doing that. So it nips together like a little pocket at the top, turn it over. If it sticks, don't worry, it's supposed to be slightly sticky as dough. And then just with your thumb and finger down, the cage over, push down and mold. And you can use both hands if you want, so you can do 2 at once, but I wouldn't worry about that. I'd just start off doing 1. So take the dough, pull in the edges, and it's a wonderful thing to do is making bread, because you can be totally present with what you're doing. So all your energy and focus is going into this bread. And I'm sure you've done it if you've cooked or baked and you've been in a bad mood, your results will be bad. So your energy, if it's positive, goes into making your wonderful bread. And also it's great exercise making bread, good for your arms. There we are. So continue moulding all 9. I'm not going to mould 9 now, but mould them all, and then they need to be left to rise. And they will rise and they will increase in size. So I have here the ones that I've had rising. And you can see there how they've risen beautifully. So they've nearly doubled in size. If we compare it, you can see the difference. So you can see, leave them to rise so they're nice and double. They're nice and smooth on the top. So when they've nearly doubled in size, they're then ready to bake. And we're just going to glaze the top of them. Many, many different ways of glazing. So this is some milk. You could use egg. Make sure when you glaze that you glaze evenly all over, because if you leave patches, you'll have patches on the top. Be very gentle, because the yeast has grown, given off carbon dioxide and made the bread rolls rise, and they're very fragile at this point. So try not to bang them or knock them, because you'll knock out the air. So gently, gently glaze them, and then they're ready to go into the oven. So we're going to place them in a hot oven. You always bake in a hot oven, because you need a very high temperature to actually start the yeast becoming even more active. The yeast will give off a lot of carbon dioxide. It will push up the actual rolls, and it will actually cause them to rise. The other thing we need to do is we need to spray some moisture into the oven. So if you have a steam oven, great, but if you haven't, then spray a little bit of moisture, because we need some moisture on the top, otherwise the crust will form too quickly and then the carbon dioxide can't escape and you get very heavy rolls. So just make sure you have a little bit of moisture, and you can use a spray bottle to do that with. Spray the rolls just over the top with a little bit of water, and then they're going to go into the oven. I have some in here baking, so I'll pop these, take some out, and I'm going to pop these in to bake. And there we have them, our beautiful soft white rolls. made from our basic white dough that have baked beautifully in the oven. They take about 20-25 minutes to bake. Don't be tempted to open the door and have a look, just trust. And the best thing to do is use your sense of smell, because you will smell when they're baked. I hope you've enjoyed making it with me today, and I hope you enjoy making your own next time, so good luck and thank you.